Story time about why I hate my brother's girlfriend. So a little background information, I was 14 years old and had just started my freshman year of high school, and my brother and his girlfriend were both seniors. And we're gonna call his girlfriend Riley. Now, Riley and my brother started dating in the middle of the summer, and you would think since they just started dating and basically just met each other that I wouldn't know her that well. But literally 2 days after they started dating, she started spending every single day at my house. I'm being serious, like she had a whole duffel bag that had basically her closet in it. But that wasn't the problem. So in the summertime, my parents would plan a lot of family activities, and since they were called family activities, his girlfriend wasn't allowed to go. I mean, I think she would have been allowed to go, but she was also really disrespectful to my mom. So after one of our family days, my parents asked my brother if Riley would be joining us for dinner, and he just ignored them and went up to his room. And my room's right next to his, so I could hear everything. And Riley called him like for part 2. Part 2 about why I hate my brother's girlfriend. So like I said, my room was right next to my brother, so I could literally hear everything. And I guess Riley called him and she was complaining about me. She was like, she's the reason why your mom doesn't like me. I feel like she's jealous of me. She doesn't want us to be together. Which was really weird because I didn't give a fuck about what my brother did. So fast forward, school finally starts. And Riley lived about 20 minutes away from us, so my brother told her that he couldn't go and pick her up for school every day. But obviously I would ride to school with him because we lived together. Anyways, eventually she had a problem with that too, so my brother and I had to start leaving 30 minutes early to get to school so we could pick her up. So the first time that we pick her up, we pull up to her house. And obviously, I'm in the front seat, and she's just standing there. So my brother rolls down the window, and he's like, get in the fucking car, we're gonna be late. And then she literally has the audacity to start arguing with my brother in front of me about why she should get the front seat instead of me. Like for part 3. Part 3 about why I hated my brother's girlfriend. So like I said, once she got in, she started screaming about how she should get the front seat instead of me. So I turn around, and I'm like, last time I checked, you've only been here for 2 months. Stay in your fucking lane. And then she starts crying because she's like, oh my god, your sister's so mean to me. Like, I just feel like I should have more respect as his girlfriend. So fast forward to the weekend, my mom said that she needs to have a talk with me. And she's like, honey, I know you may not like your brother's girlfriend, but you have to stop being mean to her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've only had one conversation with her in the last week, and that was to tell her to stay in her fucking lane. And then I told her about everything going on, so she calls my brother down to ask him if it's true, and my brother was pretty pissed off at me, but he wouldn't lie. So my mom said that she was not allowed over the house anymore, and that he wasn't allowed to go pick her up from school until I got my license. So that just caused more problems between her and my brother, so he broke up with her. And then she started spreading rumors that she broke up with him because there was something weird going on between him and I.
I hid a camera in my son's car and what I saw horrified me. Last month, my son, 17, got in a mild car accident. I was immensely disappointed in him and I made that very clear. As punishment, I decided to put him in lockdown. The set rule was that he couldn't leave the house unless given permission and he wasn't allowed out of my sight. Anyway, while my son was asleep, I decided to install a camera in his car. One of those cool shiny ones that aren't noticeable unless you search for them. I planted it in an air vent at the top, leaving the vent cracked open. My son isn't the brightest, so he would never think to search his car. He would never suspect a camera. After watching his actions over the week, I determined he had gotten his act together and could leave the house again. 3 weeks had passed and there was no suspicious activity on the car cam, so I decided it would be okay to let him drive. I regretted that decision almost instantly. He bolted out of the house and hopped in the car to head to his girlfriend's house without even letting me know. I'm quite annoyed that he didn't ask for permission, but I'll let it slide this time since it's her birthday and all. I started to watch the car cam intensely. He had gotten to her house a few minutes ago and he left her birthday present in the car. Stomach thinking about what they might do. The door unlocked and he stepped into the back seat with his girlfriend behind him. Happy birthday, babe, he spoke. I know this is a big year for you, so I got you something extra special. He gave her a kiss and handed her the box. She shook it innocently and snickered. I wonder what's inside. She ripped off the wrapping paper only to be met with a blindfold. A blindfold? What the heck was that for? Babe, let me put it on you. I'm gonna take you somewhere special. It's gonna be a huge surprise. He crawled to the front of the car and started driving. I recognized the path he was taking, back home. I hadn't gotten his girlfriend anything for her birthday and he knew that. Why was he bringing her here? The car crept up the driveway. Okay, babe, are you ready? He put it in park and hopped out, headed straight to the passenger side. He slid the blindfold off his girlfriend, who wore a sickening grin on her face. Take my hand, let's end her together. They locked eye contact and his girlfriend slid a out of her pocket. My heart suddenly dropped to my gut. Thump, 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 sharp knocking. Mama, I'm home and I brought Brookie with me.
Someone was murdered in my hotel room. I was in Vegas for the Taylor Swift concert a few weeks ago. But don't worry, that's not blood. That was just the paint underneath the makeup. It was a sold out show, so all of the hotels nearby had upped their prices and basically everywhere was sold out. So last minute, we find this old place on the old Las Vegas Strip, which was right next to the Zach Baggins Museum. Now, if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know I'm a professional ghost hunter. And that place is super haunted. We decide to investigate and we start to set up. And then my friend Mel is like, is that blood on the wall? And me and Tori are like, there's no way there's blood on the wall right now. But there was in fact blood on the wall, and we even posted a photo on our YouTube channel. That's not even the worst part. So we do the whole investigation and we try to ask the ghost why there's blood on the wall. There was something dark there. We don't know what it was, but it was so strong it exploded our scare bear. Then we heard this loud thud and people talking outside. But every time we would look out, there was nobody there. Then we heard what sounded like a trunk slam shut and a car peeled out. We were so scared. We barely slept that night. I still can't believe a ghost told me.
It's the story time of the time I dated the nice guy. The nice guy. The pathological liar whose heart I broke because I just couldn't take it anymore. Fun fact, I met this guy on Twitter. Also, this is pathetic. This guy on Twitter, and he had been liking my tweets a million times, right? And we'll call him Jason. No, we won't. No, we won't. That's my father's name. We will not call him. We'll call him Jeff. We'll call him Jeff. He'd been liking my tweets, and back in the day, liking someone's tweets was kind of like a, hey, I'm trying to get at you. Like, this is like a little flirty moment. I caught on. I was like, okay, he's liking my tweets, and I look at his account, and the profile picture was like an old one. Kind of tell that this picture was like older, but I felt like, oh, maybe he's just like a boy. Like, he doesn't ever update his profile picture. No. I was just kind of waiting on him to like message me because I was just not interested enough to like be like, I see you liking my tweets, like let's get together. No, that was not the vibe. I end up tweeting something like, I hate when people like all my tweets but are too scared to message me, like grow up, like just like completely dogging him. He ends up messaging me and asking me on a date, and I was like, fair enough, like I'll go on a date with him, whatever. So that was kind of it. I was just like, yeah, I'll go on a date. You guys are gonna be at me like, why would you go on a date with a stranger? That's literally how all relationships happen. Also, we had mutual friends, so it like wasn't a big deal. Picking me up in his car, which ladies, the worst idea in the world. Always bring your own car to your first date. If you don't have a car, like find your own way there because you want to be able to leave when you want to leave. Next, me to get a garbage plate, which I feel like is a reoccurring theme with me in first dates. I'm like to eat, and I'm already feeling like, you know, this is not gonna work. He's too nice. This is really weird. Opens the door for me, and then he stops at his house and introduces me to his father on the first date. At this time, I had a really hard time like cutting people off and just like ending things where they are because I just felt guilty. I felt like I owed people things. After this date, I kept responding slowly, but like I was still responding. I was still entertaining, which I know was messed up. And it was around Valentine's Day. And on Valentine's Day, he shows up at my house after us texting, and he brings me a necklace, a teddy bear, and chocolates. A necklace? A necklace? I get a teddy bear and chocolates, but like we're like a necklace? Also, like the necklace was hideous. I'm sorry. It was really hideous. I already know what you guys are gonna say. We ended up hanging out again. It was so nice, and I was trying to convince myself, like, Emily, you're supposed to like him. Like, he's nice, he's respectful, like, you're supposed to like him. And this time, since the second seal had already been torn, we hang out at his house with his father. His dad literally got us like chicken and like got us a whole dinner, and we just sat in his living room. And then he starts talking to me about the army. Why is this such a man thing to like lie about going into the army? To be like, I'm going into the army, so that you'll be like, no, stay for me, stay for me. Like, no, if you want to go, like, do that. Like, do that. Like, I just go do that. Anyways, we're like booed up on the couch, and obviously like we're watching a movie, so I can kind of like see his phone. I'm clocking behaviors. He has it upside down. He's not really checking it that much, but it's getting blown up. It's getting blown up. Why is the nice guy's phone getting blown up? He flips it over quickly, and I see my name. And it's not my name, but it's someone with the same name as me. It was his ex-girlfriend. It was his ex-girlfriend. He explains to me that they dated and that she's like crazy, like, I'm just like, right. I decided in my head, as soon as I get home, I'm ending this because he lied about wanting to go into the army. He's lying about this girl, whatever, like whatever. Go to part 2. Part 2 of the story time of the time I tried to date the nice guy and ended up breaking his heart. Sorry that I have to do a part 2, but they took my 10-minute feature away. Why did they do this? Anyway, so I decide as soon as I get home that I'm going to just kind of end this. I feel like he's pathologically lying. I'm just not trusting it. He's too nice. There has to be something wrong with this guy. Plus, like, his profile picture was so old that, like, he did not look like that at all anymore. He takes me home, and I'm expecting to just, like, get out of the car, go inside, and then in a couple hours be like, hey, I don't think it's working. Okay, well, on the car ride home, he starts telling me how he's falling in love with me, and it had only been, like, a week and a half. Like, that's so sweet, thanks. Actually something I've done a lot, like with every boyfriend I've ever had, they always tell me they love me first, and I usually will say thank you because I just have a problem being vulnerable. I guess it's kind of that, and it's also like sometimes I'm just not in love yet. I'm just not there. And in this case, I was just not there. I like say thanks, and I walk in the house and whatever, and I'm deciding how am I about to go about this, because this is going to be horrendous. At at the same time, I felt like he was a pathological liar. I'm like, you're telling me you're going to the army so that I'll simply say stay, and like you have your girlfriend still. Basically explained just that. I'm like, I don't want to be with someone for long distance, you know, and like I saw you texting your ex-girlfriend, I just don't want the mess. He tells me she's like crazy and like they're not together and like, you know, she still has feelings for him and whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I end up cutting it off, and he's like heartbroken. He's like telling me he's crying, he like wants to come see me, he like wants to come make up and explain things to me. For a really long time, part of me felt like, wow, I kind of fumbled, like he was actually really nice until the other day. Found out on Facebook that he is now married to that girl and living in a faraway place, working for the army. He was telling the truth about something though. He did in fact go into the army. He actually really was really nice. I say all of this to say that the nice guy is always just a love bomber.